Well, good morning, everyone. We're picking up in John 4 today, and I'm going to be reading the second half of the chapter and providing my insight to what we can learn about God, about people, and how we can apply that to our lives. We're picking up right after Jesus' conversation with the woman at the well, so make sure you go back and read that portion and answer the questions relating to it on your own. But for now, turn to John chapter 4, verse 43. Jesus heals an official's son. At the end of the 2 days, Jesus went to Galilee. He himself had said that a prophet is not honored in his hometown. Yet the Galileans welcomed him, for they had been in Jerusalem at the Passover celebration and had seen everything he did there. As he traveled through Galilee, he came to Cana, where he had turned the water into wine. And there was a government official in nearby Capernaum whose son was very sick. When he heard that Jesus had come from Judea to Galilee, he went and begged Jesus to come to Capernaum to heal his son, who was about to die. Jesus asked, "Will you never believe in me unless you see miraculous signs and wonders?" The official pleaded, "Lord, please come now before my little boy dies." And then Jesus told him, "Go back home. Your son will live." And the man believed what Jesus said and started home. While the man was on his way, some of his servants met him with the news that his son was alive and well. He asked them when the boy had begun to get better, and they replied, "Yesterday afternoon at 1 o'clock, his fever suddenly disappeared." And then the father realized that was the very time Jesus had told him, "Your son will live." He and his entire household believed in Jesus. This was the second miraculous sign Jesus did in Galilee after coming home from Jerusalem. So what does this passage tell me about God? God is a God of mercy. And that's a word most of us have probably heard before, but do we actually know what it means? There are many ways the word mercy is used, and thus many definitions for it. But one of the definitions is simply to feel sympathy with the misery of another. At first, it appears that Jesus is teaching a lesson. He says, there is more to who I am than just miracles. And you might expect him to then refuse to heal the son as kind of a God isn't just here to fix your problems kind of lesson, right? Well, Jesus actually heals the son anyway. Why? Because God sympathizes with the pain, with the misery that we experience. God does not delight in our pain. He uses our pain for good, but never delights in it, at least from what I know about God. In other words, he shows us mercy. He shows this father and this family mercy. And I think this transitions really well into trying to answer the question about what this tells us about people. It goes back to yesterday a little bit in regard to our dependence on God for things out of our control, like illness and potential death. But it also shows us that we can be so easily distracted by all the things that God can do for us. Those very things like miracles, signs, wonders, then become the essence of our belief. Then when we don't see those things, those signs and those miracles, our belief in God tends to lessen as a result. Why do we believe? So what can we do? I think first we need to be better at having sympathy and empathy for other people, which would allow us to have then a consistent reminder of the empathy and the sympathy and the mercy that God shows us. We need to listen to other people and not try to fix them. We need to say more of, "I'm sorry, that sounds really hard," and less of, "Well, that's tough, but you know what you should do." The other thing that I'm getting out of this passage is we need to be better about self-reflection in one area. Why do I believe? Is it because I saw God do something that was inexplicable apart from him? And if so, then would that be the case if it didn't happen? Would I believe in God the way I do today if that thing wouldn't have happened? In other words, we should know why we believe. And we should open our hearts and our minds to more of who God is, not just the really cool signs and wonders that he does. All right, well, don't forget to check in with us tomorrow as we wrap up the week with John chapter 5. I hope you guys have a great day.